In this video, we're gonna share the best homemade pancake recipe with my boy, Chef Steve Gonzalez. Where did you find this recipe? What inspired it?
Well, the whole thing came about since we started talking about doing brunch. And who doesn't love pancakes?
Speaking of which, brunch at Baro launches on Saturday, March 4th. So these pancakes, of course, aren't just good for the restaurant environment. We are filming this video so that you can make it at home as well too. So let's start off with the ingredients.
So this is like a super simple recipe. It was just a matter of tweaking it. I was messing around with it for a couple weeks, right? So flour, salt, sugar, baking soda, queso fresco, guava paste, eggs, melted butter, milk. So this is actually our pancake batter recipe. And then we get into the sauce, right? So these are ripe plantains, birch honey, and butter.
Okay.
Do Latin American food. I try to keep it as authentic as I could. Well, yeah, it's super Latin American, right? Okay. Like this combo right here, queso fresco and guava is like classic.
All right, let's start mixing this up.
All right, cool. Flour.
Okay.
Salt.
Okay.
Sugar. Right, you want to blend a little sweet and savory. Baking powder.
Okay.
It's quite a bit. This is gonna help make it nice and fluffy, right?
Okay, cool.
All right, so we have our milk, eggs. My eggs a bit. Sometimes I'll put my salt in here because that'll help break down the eggs a bit, right?
Okay. That's melted butter.
This is our melted butter. So here we go. So I can kind of tell by eye. See how it's all coming together?
Yeah.
Right? Now ideally this recipe will sit for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you're gonna see the difference in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, so you let the batter chill out for 5 minutes.
Alright, so check it. Our batter's been sitting for a little bit, right? See how it's starting to puff up?
It's a little thicker.
Yeah, it's thicker. You're starting to see some air. This is what's gonna give you that really light and fluffy pancake, right? So we'll go to the flat top, okay? Nice high heat, right? I have the luxury of having, 2 4-foot flat tops. At home, you can probably use a cast iron pan.
And are you going medium high, medium?
I'm gonna go pretty high. It's
Pretty
pretty
high?
hot. Like
Okay.
this is kicking right now between 375 and 400. So,
Yeah, so you have to tell me, every single time I make pancakes at home, what's a trick to making sure that they don't run into each other on one
can't
pan?
crowd it.
Can't crowd it? Okay.
In this case, I'm gonna show you kind of home size, okay? So I'm gonna pick a nice hot spot. Hear it sizzle, right? Get it kind of roundish, right? And another one. What you're trying to do here is build kind of like the foundation of it, right? Okay. This is gonna make the crust, right? And as it's cooking, it's gonna start cooking around the sides. See how it's like bubbling here?
Yeah.
Right? Some nice oil in there, right? Just to make sure it's cooking, right? So I started my pan a little bit of butter. So I like to cut them kind of big, a little bit thick, just to add some texture to the dish, right? Butter's nice and hot. I got my plantains.
Okay, so are you is this caramelizing the plantains or no?
No, they're just cooking them out.
Okay.
You find your butter's getting a little bit hot. It's starting to brown. A little bit of oil.
Okay, what does the oil do?
The oil's gonna stop the butter from burning. Salt. In this case, I'm using some sea salt. Not as salty as everything else. So really, I'm just trying to get the butter coated onto the plantains, right? So see this guy, how it's starting to set up over here?
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna say maybe another 15, 20 seconds. So my plantains are going. If you're fancy, you can toss them around a little bit, right? We flip the pancakes. Okay, so see how these guys are all nice and cooked? They're probably like 3/4 of the way there, right? Generous amount of honey. In this case, we're not using any maple syrup. This is gonna
the recipe at all.
This is gonna be our syrup. Put a little bit of cheese on each layer, a little bit of guava.
Queso fresco, guava.
Yeah. This is gonna be like sweet and savory, right?
And you want to be adding those while they're still in the pan at home.
It's gonna help melt it a little bit, right? A lot of the stuff that we do here, I try to do stuff when it's in season, you know, as much as Canadian product as we could, right? Do not stick your finger in there. It's gonna be hot, you're gonna get burnt.
All right, everything has been cooked. Now comes the best part of this video is we get to test it out.
Our pancakes are cooked. The guava is kind of like it's warm, the cheese is starting to melt, right? Our plantains are starting to, you know, they're starting to melt a little bit, which I like. This is gonna add like another goo factor, right? Next layer.
You're layering it up, and this is exactly how it's going to be plated when we're serving brunch here at the restaurant.
No, it's gonna be bigger.
It's going to be
It's
how
gonna be a
many
little bit bigger.
pancakes is it?
It's still 2 pancakes.
Okay.
But
bigger
it's
portions.
gonna be bigger portions.
Okay.
Plantain, gooey goodness. Like you're looking at it and you're seeing there's not that much sauce to it. But remember, you have the sauce in the middle. You have the guava. You have the plantains that are already all soaked in, right? The best homemade pancake recipe with myself and Chef Steve Gonzalez. All right, let's hit it. Ready? So for me, I want to get in the middle. Right, go for all stuff right here, right? And then we'll cut our piece out. So when you're eating it, you got to try to get a little bit of everything, right? These things are gonna be hot, so be careful. Look at that cheese. Oh yeah. Pancakes are fluffy, sweet, savory, you know?
The cheese is the cheese and the guava. At first, when I saw the dish, it's like cheese on pancakes, but it makes total sense. You did it again, man. There you have it. The best homemade pancake recipe with my boy, Chef Steve Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you next time. If you have any questions for Steve on how to make this at home, leave a comment below and share this video with anybody that you know would love to make this recipe at home. We'll see you next time.